But listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh,
we're
don't
not
speak over me.
incarceration.
Miss Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Miss Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
Where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
All right. Today we've got a tense courtroom showdown between a no-nonsense judge and a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen. This individual came prepared, or so she thought, with a small piece of paper containing the usual sovereign citizen talking points. It seems she believed she could walk in, drop some so-called legal truth bombs, and walk out without consequences. What unfolds is both surprising and revealing. Let's see how this confrontation plays, out in court. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think she was misled by the sovereign citizen ideology? Let's dive in and take a closer look at this heated hearing.
Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of that estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest. You know?
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself? Or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you? Or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel to effective defense.
It's overruled.
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
No. The person is making a complete spectacle of herself. Honestly, it's hard not to watch. I'm really enjoying the judge's composure here. She's just sitting back, calmly letting this sovereign citizen run through her well-rehearsed but completely ineffective script. It's always wild how these individuals believe they've somehow uncovered a secret legal loophole, as if shouting "I don't consent" is going to nullify legal proceedings. That's just not how jurisdiction works, and courts have made that abundantly clear time and time again. What's baffling is how this person, who actually seems polite and even addresses the judge respectfully with "Your Honor," has ended. Up so deep in this misinformation, you have to wonder what led her down this path. She seems like someone who genuinely wants to do the right thing, but she's clearly lost in a maze of bad advice and pseudo-legal nonsense. It's one thing to read about sovereign citizen beliefs online, but actually trying to argue them in court? That's a whole different level. I just don't get how anyone makes it to that point. Anyway, let me know what you all think about this situation. We're definitely not done yet, so let's dive back in and see how the rest of this courtroom drama unfolds.
Ms. Pugh, I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Ms. Pugh, don't
with my
speak over me.
incarceration- Respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration being
Ms.
involved-
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed
Go back.
agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
Yeah, that was definitely embarrassing, but hang on because this story isn't over yet. Believe it or not, this sovereign citizen actually returns for another hearing, and don't worry, I've got that footage too. At this point, I honestly think the judge deserves some kind of award for patience. Trying to reason with a sovereign citizen like this is basically like arguing with a brick wall, except the brick wall thinks it has a law degree in constitutional theory. Major credit to the judge here. She's doing her best to stay calm and composed while trying to make sense of all the chaos. She's snappy when needed, but still surprisingly patient. I think she's striking a solid balance, but what do you all think? Is she handling it the right way? Let's go ahead and jump into the next hearing and see how things unfold. Something tells me it's only going to get more intense from here, so let's dive in.
Perfect. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's just been given, he's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of the appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
And for your record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today. If that's what you want to do, we'll get your case set for trial and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury, and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well. Okay. So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required. All right. So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you? Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegation is from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand about that?
I say that. Honestly, these sovereign citizen arguments have seeped into my brain at this point. I feel like I'm losing brain cells every time I have to break down their nonsense. Watching them try to argue in court is almost painful. It's sad, really, because I'm sure many of these individuals are struggling with their own issues, but the bigger problem is how they drain public resources. Courts and law enforcement only have so much time and manpower, and these wild claims waste both. I'm also surprised she didn't pull out that little script she used last time. Maybe a stint in county jail helped her memorize it? Either way, if she insists on representing herself, she could end up facing 8 to 10 years behind bars. Let's jump back into the next hearing to see if she tries to defend herself again, because if she does, it's not going to go well.
I don't understand, Your Honor.
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I haven't did anything wrong.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine after they listen to the evidence if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case. I don't care what you want at this point. You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Welcome to the criminal appointment list. This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, just, get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight onto a jury. And we'll just get it figured out that way. All right.
I think this judge deserves a perfect 10 in handling the situation. She did everything she could to give the defendant a fair hearing before finally removing her from the courtroom. Her patience was truly impressive. I probably would have lost my cool within minutes, but she remained composed throughout. It's also a bit heartbreaking to watch someone go through this. The judge genuinely tried to give her every chance to explain herself, but we all knew how it was going to end. And to anyone who feels like they lost brain cells watching this, it's okay, I'm right there with you. Sovereign citizen arguments are cringe-inducing, yet strangely mesmerizing. Watching someone try to twist and turn their way out of the judge's questions is like a bad dance with zero rhythm, and in this case, it was an absolute flop. What did you think of the judge's approach?